So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mind Boost episode number 10. Thank you so much for tuning back into this episode, or thank you for watching if you're watching on YouTube. It truly means a lot to me. Now, in today's episode, I really want to focus and talk about two very specific and two very important topics, which are, first of all, growth, your personal growth, your growth in life or as a business, and progress, generally speaking, progress. And the first thing that I really want to touch on, just to jump straight into the point, a lot of people nowadays, because we are so used to getting everything as soon as possible, as quickly as possible because of all the social media things that are going on. I mean, TikTok, for example, right? I mean, your average time attention span is 3 seconds, something like that. I mean, that is crazy if you think about it, right? So we as human beings, we have conditioned to get everything, or to expect to get everything as quickly and as soon as possible, without having to put some effort, some energy and some work into something, right? So that's the first thing. Now, when it comes to business, when it comes to building something on your own, all of those things take time, You have to expect to put in some time, some energy, some focus, some work in order to get something back out of it. And now that's the first problem from my personal point of view in today's society and day and age pretty much. People go online, people go on social media, on Instagram, and they see, so many people running their own business, running their own successful business, being able to travel the world, being able to get this and this, to spoil their friends and family, their mom, whatever it might be. And they think okay, damn, this is so nice, this person got lucky and I couldn't do that. Now, obviously, let's be honest, some sort of luck, quote unquote luck, is important to, achieve certain things. I mean, if you know how certain processes, work, then luck isn't really, an important factor for you because you're able to create your own luck. Mind Plus, by the way, if you want to learn more. But in full seriousness, those people put in some time, some effort and some work for a very long time. In most cases, I'm not saying every single time, but 99% of the people that made it, quote unquote, that made it in life, especially younger people, have been putting a lot of work into what they have been doing. They sacrifice a lot, And just to give you kind of a personal example, from my personal experiences, from my personal journey, from my personal life, I started, with this whole business stuff, entrepreneurial stuff, doing my own business, trying out different things. I started out 5 or even 6 years ago at this point, For 5 or 6 years, I have been in this game, in a way. I've been trying different things. I've been, trying to figure out what is working for me, what isn't working for me, and adapted to that, And obviously today, I have created Mind Plus. I run Mind Plus, I work on the vision every single day, and it truly makes me the happiest person on earth, to have something like that, to be able to help other people that are on a similar mission pretty much, right? But that wasn't always like that. I didn't just wake up one day and I was like, okay, let's do Mind Plus, and overnight I got this whole thing, I got all the content, the branding, the members, the growth, the corporations. No, all those things took time. And also why I really want to talk about progress right now, you have to start somewhere, right? I mean, that's kind of a basic and obvious thing to say, but in most cases, it's the obvious things that have the most impact on us and on our lives. So many people nowadays, they want to do something on their own. They have a goal, an idea that they really want to, execute in a way, but they just don't start, because they have mental blocks, obstacles in their mind holding them back. They are unsure, they don't know where to start. They feel scared to lose, to fail, whatever it might be. By the way, if that's your situation, if you can relate to that, then also check out Mind Plus. But that's really how it is, right? But you cannot expect to achieve something. You cannot expect to learn new things on your path if you don't even start, right? Now, for me, for example, when I started back then, I tried out different business models. I had different companies, let's put it like that, and I was trying different things, and back then I didn't have the vision of having Mind Plus, of having, and building an educational company. I was just focusing on the money, right? And Mind Plus would have never happened if I haven't started back then, if I didn't start back then, if I didn't take the first initial step, So whatever you do, if you have goals, if you have dreams, I mean, obviously you can hop on Instagram, check out other people that are kind of, quote unquote, above you, to get inspired, to get motivated, whatever it might be. But don't think that those people just got lucky, that those people made it overnight, you know. For some people, let's be honest, for some people, it may take 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. For some people, it may take 5 or even 10 years, or even 20 years, or even their whole life. But you know, if that's truly your passion, if that's truly your biggest goal in life, to achieve this one thing, to truly build this one thing, then, you know, what other chance do you have, you know? What other way do you have? Do you want to get a job that you literally hate, you know, and be at the job 24/7 and, you know, your whole life have this question on your head, which is, what would have happened if I actually would have stick to that, you know? What would have happened if I actually would have taken the first initial step, you know, towards this whole journey, towards this whole progress pretty much, right? So that is a very, very important thing of just starting out, you know. And also a lot of very close friends nowadays, you know, friends that I back then started out, you know, this whole business thing with, you know, we developed like crazy over the years, you know, when it comes to English, for example, like the language, because, you know, most of you might know that English isn't my, you know, mother tongue, and you might be able to tell by my accent, right? But back then, you know, I never would have think that I would be able at some point in my life to just talk freely in English pretty much, right? I mean, right now, I don't have a script. I have nothing that I kind of, you know, learned, you know, to memorize like every single sentence. I mean, I have some bullet points that I really want to, you know, talk about, so I don't kind of, you know, lose my point. But that's it, you know, I'm just talking English, you know. And back then, I was able to, you know, talk English, to understand English. Like my level of English was pretty good after school. Like I graduated with the best degree in English. But, you know, talking in English in the real world with clients, with people, is a different thing, right? But once again, I started. I just tried it out and I improved over time. I had a progress pretty much that made me the person that I am today when it comes to English, for example. Exactly the same thing with business. You know, back then I had no idea. I didn't really know what to do. I just wanted to make it work, you know, to get the money, to get the freedom, you know, to be a successful entrepreneur. But besides of that, I didn't have like any ideas of what to do. But once again, I just did it, you know, I took the first step, I committed to something, and the rest was kind of history, you know. And over the last years, I really progressed as a person, you know, as a business person, me personally as Adam, and I understood certain things, you know. I learned certain things, I adapted to certain things, I changed certain things, you know. For example, the best example in this case, my YouTube content, you know, like content in general that you're watching right now, right? I mean, my first videos, like the other day, like I watched my first video that I published on YouTube like 2 years ago at this point. You know, it was cringy, you know. Back then, it seemed to me like, yes, you know, this is really good actually, you know, for the first video especially. You know, now watching this video, I'm like, bro, like how, why, you know? So obviously today I would never do the same things that I have done back then, right? And even when we talk about the content I was doing, like creating 2, 3, 4 months ago, you know, I wouldn't do that type of content right now. I wouldn't create that type of content right now just because I progressed and adapted and changed as a person over time. But once again, I was only able to kind of realize that because I started, because I took the possibility, I took the step towards actually doing it, you know? Because so many people reach out to me and they're like, yeah, I want to do this and this. I kind of want to try out this and this, but I don't really know where to start. I don't really know what type of, you know, branding I should have, what type of content I should put out. In full honesty, bro, I also didn't know, you know. Over time, you adapt, over time you learn, over time you start to create your own style in a way, your own branding, your own way of doing things pretty much, you know. But that can only happen if, once again, if we get to the main point, if you actually start, you know, if you kind of stop doubting yourself and having all those, you know, wrong beliefs about you, your life, you know, stop kind of limiting yourself, you know, in a lot of ways, and just doing it. Because when you do it, once again, you will progress, you will grow, you will adapt as a person, and you will end up coming to a point in your life where you will kind of see clearly, you know, you will get some sort of clarity in your life, whether that's in business, your personal life, relationships, or like, you know, school, university, it doesn't really matter. So that was like, you know, a thing that I really wanted to touch on. Also, when it comes to progress, you know, because once again, we are so used to getting everything as quickly as soon as possible. And sometimes, and I think that's a very big thing, especially for entrepreneurs, for young entrepreneurs, like younger entrepreneurs, you know, when you don't see crazy growth and success and results every single day, you start to question yourself and, you know, what you have been doing for the last days, or like for the last time period pretty much, right? And that's kind of a natural thing to do, but it's also not the best thing to do, right? Because obviously, you know, when you start valuing yourself, when you kind of have, you know, doubts and negative feelings and thoughts about something, it lowers your energy, and with that you start to attract more of those negative, you know, vibrational things into your life, those negative things into your life. So you really have to keep in mind that progress, no matter how big or small, is still progress. And a very good example for this is, let's say, you know, you go out for a walk, you know, you want to surround yourself with nature, you know, you want to ground yourself, you go into the forest and you look at trees, right? Beautiful trees now in the summer, you know, just to get some shadow, you know, from the sun and not get sunburned like me, you know, classic white boy. So you go, you know, for a walk through the forest and you look at the trees. Now you don't really see a tree growing, right? Let's be honest. You don't stand in front of a tree and you see it like grow pretty much, right? You just see a small tree or a huge tree pretty much, you know, in a forest. There's nothing in between. You don't see the actual growth process. But still, you know, regardless of if you see the tree growing or not, it is still growing, you know. That is a fact. You just don't see it because it's so small. And that's exactly, you know, the case with you as a person in your life right now. As long as you really take action steps every single day, as long as you actually, you know, start doing something, whether it's business or like whatever you want to do, and actually commit to it every single day, and every single day, even if it's something very small, something very boring, if you really stick to that and actually execute that, there will be progress happening. And doing those things, you know, stacking those things, you know, kind of, you know, on each other pretty much, and every single day committing to something, taking action, showing up, you know, being disciplined enough, there will be progress happening. And one day you will wake up, you know, look into the mirror and you will be a grown tree. I mean, not literally, but you get the point pretty much, right? You kind of made it work, made it happen, you know, you will have the success, the dream partner, you know, the opportunities, you know, graduation, whatever it might be. It will happen one day because you put in the work, you know, in the last weeks, months, or even years pretty much, right? So that is a very important thing. If you don't see crazy results straight away, don't get discouraged, because as long as you really can tell yourself, yes, I'm doing something, I'm putting in action, energy, time, work, focus into something, there is progress happening regardless of how small it might seem, you know, that is a fact. So please keep that in mind. So yeah, just to sum it up, you know, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, because I had a look, you know, on my notes, in most cases, it's the small and boring things that you have to do over and over again, you know, like I just kind of mentioned, right? Like I kind of touched on already. You have to show up every single day. You have to put in the work every single day, do those things every single day, because at the end of the day, you know, after some time, they will make you reach the point where you want to be pretty much, right? They will make you grow as a tree. You will be a grown, you know, tree pretty much, right? That's how it is. So sometimes, you know, even if it's just, you know, reaching out to clients, putting out content, you know, communicating with other people, after some time, this might get very, very boring for you, right? But you still have to show up. You still have to do those boring tasks, you know, over and over again, because those boring tasks, you know, quote unquote, once again, those things are the things that will end up making you, you know, become the person that you want to become. They will, you know, bring you the success that you want to have in your life pretty much, right? And that is progress, you know, that is progress and growth as a person. Putting in the work, I mean, first of all, actually taking the step, you know, the step, committing to something, trusting in yourself, you know, allowing yourself to trust in yourself, in your abilities, in your visions, in your goals, in your dreams, actually doing something and sticking to that for a very long time, you know. So many people failed, you know, to achieve success just because they stopped too early, you know, just because after like 1 or 2 months, they didn't see any success, because online it seemed like it takes 1 week and you will be the richest person on earth, you know. Obviously, we have a lot of crazy opportunities nowadays, but it still takes time, work, and effort to make something work in your life or in your business, you know? So have a dream, have a goal, trust the process, and show up every single day, and trust that you are growing as a person, you know? Because once again, to sum it up, you know, before we come to an end, as long as you put in the action and the work every single day, there is progress and growth happening in your life. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was pretty much everything for today's episode. You know, that was the thing that I really wanted to talk about. If you want to learn more about me, you know, as a person, or Mind Plus, you know, what we do exactly, you know, how we can help you in your case as well, you know, how we help our members, how we are able to help our amazing members, you know, entrepreneurs from all over the world, generating amazing results with their businesses, you know, having amazing success in life, like in every single life aspect, then make sure to first of all, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, like and follow if you're listening on Spotify. Check out the Mind Plus, the official Mind Plus website at www.mindplus.energy to learn more about Mind Plus, about what it is exactly that we are doing and how we can help you as well in your situation. Check us out on Instagram at Mind Plus with 2 U's. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this video, this episode very, valuable, and that you learned something. That's my biggest goal with all those things that I'm doing. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for listening or watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening. See you in the next episode. Much love and bye-bye.